Hey guys, never stop talking here today, and we're going to be taking a look at my top 10 units in the game as of this moment. The part 2 of the 4th anniversary is well underway, and I'm gonna say the 4th anniversary has changed the meta a lot, especially this second part. Like, this meta is crazy in that how like every team is different essentially. Like, you have movies, Fusion Warriors, Future, red, red, purple, green, green, red. You have some yellow, green, greens, yellow, yellow, greens. You have powerful opponents. There are so many teams in this meta, which is actually ridiculous. And I'm gonna say the 4th anniversary has done pretty well. Actually, the past few months have done well to change up the meta so that's not just the repeat of the same old. But here's my top 10. We're going to be taking a look at all of the LFs from 9 stars onwards, and I believe we're going to be taking a look at the Ultras from 10 stars onwards, because you could only get Ultras to a certain amount. I believe they can be 10 stars, but it doesn't matter too much. So for my 10th position unit, I will have to go with this LF 4 Power Freezer. Now, 4 Power Freezer is by far one of the most destructive units in the game. His main part about it that I think is absolutely ridiculous is the endurance notification. It's so annoying when you're using, let's say, a future team where you bring Sword of Hope Trunks, you bring the future Gohan, and you're like, okay, I've got 2 endurance units this fight. Then this guy shows up and he just wipes that safety out of here. It's ridiculous having endurance notification, and he does a ton of damage. Like, the blast damage is ridiculous. The green card supporting your teammates is great. It's not too good that he's a yellow unit, because yellow units do not do too well due to very powerful reds running around, which is why he's literally the 10th unit. But I still think he is good enough to be in the top 10, just at the number 10 spot. So I think he's very valuable there. Like, even his main ability, getting his vanish back, giving it so that he gets that very powerful ultimate, is ridiculous. So definitely worthy of being in top 10. Like, LOE as well are just very powerful still in general. They haven't even got a new unit since Golden Angel Freezer, and they are still a top tier team. So that's my number 10 unit. My number 9, a unit that's fallen from grace quite a lot since his featured boost has gone. Ultra Super Saiyan Blue Kayaking Goku. Now, once again, a yellow unit who doesn't really do too well in the meta, but it's still a nuisance. Like, the lock of the strikes is probably the most annoying ability in the game. I think it has to be like second to Hero Hercule, because my days is annoying whenever you like switch characters or he comes in, it just locks his strikes and you just have to wait, which is good. But when you're using MUI Goku, literally one of the most run units in this meta, he is the biggest counter to Ultra Kayaking Goku, which is why he's nowhere near the top 5 anymore. Like, he was definitely about a month ago top 5, but when MUI Goku popped out, it just dropped him drastically. But he's still incredible, crazy good damage. His green card is ridiculous. The gorge filling is probably the strongest gorge being filled in the game. Like, getting banished back, getting a green card that makes it so that you get a card and do even more damage is ridiculous. And then with his main ability, he can nullify cover change, which is very powerful. So yeah, he is still definitely a top 10 unit. Okay, speaking of LOE, Golden Angel Freezer. My days in this unit a threat when you come across him. Like, even with type advantage, like, you bring a purple unit and you're still worried if they get a blue card off, it's gonna do a lot of damage. Like, this dude is insane, and he is a crazy good counter to the strongest blue unit in the game, Ultra Gogeta, because in my days, have I used this dude before against him? I caught him with a strike with my blast, and that's like 70% or higher of his health gone. Like, it does ridiculous amount of damage to blast armor units. So fair play to him, and he's just absolutely ridiculous. The amount of health this dude can restore is ridiculous. His main ability is also one of the most ridiculous. It just does too much. He does too much, and the damage is insane. So definitely worthy of being top 10, and he's not even like an Ultra or LF. Probably top 3 sparkings in the game. Next, we're probably looking at the best sparking in the game, and that's Revival Final Form Frieza. My days, is this dude so annoying. Like, to have 3 LOE units in the top 10, in my opinion, shows how powerful LOE are. Like, it's ridiculous. This dude, it's mainly his revival that annoys me, but the great thing about him is the amount of support he gives to his team. Like, the green cards are very useful. The main abilities are ridiculous. Like, pre-transformation, he has a main ability that I believe reduces sub count and gives him a green card, so it helps your whole team. And then after he's transformed, he gets the main ability which reduces your opponent's Dragon Balls, makes it so that you get a blue card as well. It's ridiculous how good this dude is. Like, the green card locks the enemy in after his transform. Like, how ridiculous is that? But yeah, he's definitely worthy of being top 10 in my eyes. Okay, next unit, LF Perfect Out. I think he is still a very powerful unit. Like, his unique platinum equipment definitely saved this dude. Like, he wasn't too bad without the unique, but he had no place even in like the top 15 without the unique equipment. The unique equipment definitely saved him, made it so that he just did the amount of damage that you wanted him to do. Once his gorge is filled, he is ridiculously powerful. His ultimate catches a lot of the units off guard. The green card restoring his vanish and filling up the gorge is very useful. His blue card is strong as hell, and like, he is just overall a very good unit, and on very good teams. Like, Powerful Opponent is crazy good at the moment. Future, of course, has probably the best roster in the game. Like, definitely a top tier team, so he is definitely in a position where he is very usable. Okay, now we're on to the top 5. Now, before I go into the top 5, I want to speak about the honorable mentions. We are going to take a look at Sword of Hope Trunks first. Now, Sword of Hope Trunks is definitely a unit that could have been in top 10. Like, all of my honorable mentions are units that could be in top 10. Like, I have no like problems with me saying, okay, he could have been in the 9th position and these two could have dropped down or something like that. Like, he is very good. The unique gorge is still very powerful. Once again, he's on Future, which is very good. Hybrid is a really a team at the moment, and Vegeta Clan is alright, but the main team he's on is Future, and Future is still very good. Like, he does everything. The unique gorge being filled is very good for him because he just goes crazy. He does a lot of strike damage just in general. The endurance he has is crazy good, but I feel like at the moment there's just too many units that tear into him, especially the newest Dragon Fist Goku that released. Like, he counters him very, very heavily, and it just made it so that for me personally, he weren't quite in the top 10, but he is a unit that I consider very, very close to being in the top 10. Next, now this one is, a lot of people might not agree with this, but I think Vegeta Blue is fantastic. I actually use him on my strike based Future team with a lot of very melee based units. He does a lot of strike damage, and if you catch people off guard, he can do like 7 strikes in a row, and those strikes will most likely take out, against a very powerful green unit, could take about a third of his health, which is crazy to think about considering he is a blue unit. Like, if you give him pure strike attack on a Future team, which Future offer very powerful strike based equips, especially pure based ones, he does a lot of damage, and he's just a huge threat. The blue card locking in your opponents and doing a ton of damage is crazy good. His green card, like reducing your enemies to rubble, really is really good. And then the main ability, his ultimate, I still think is top 3 ultimate in the game. It does so much damage. Okay, now the next one, I think we all can agree on, Zenkai LF First Form Frieza. Now, I forgot to mention Vegeta Blue is obviously Zenkai 7. All the Zenkai units are Zenkai 7 1400%. But this First Form Frieza, he is just fantastic. I was honestly considering putting him in 10th position instead of this dude because he does so much for the team that is actually ridiculous. The supply of blue cards is great. The green card is stupid. I honestly hate it when he lands his green card on a unit that doesn't get like immobilized or is immune to any sort of paralysis or anything, because once he's got it off or you've got it off, that opponent, your unit can't do anything. Your your battle members have been reduced to sub count so that they can come in faster. And let's say you do it against a blue unit, you have the green Angel Freezer on, yeah, you reduce the sub count so he can come in, he just nukes the units or just any other unit. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous what he does. His support is probably the best aspect of him. He does so much for the LOE units that it's ridiculous. He can tank super well. His main ability, I think, is one of the most underrated ones in the game. Like, he does a lot from it, like nullifying nullifying cover change is ridiculous, and his ultimate hits hard. Like, if you watch what this First Form Freezer's ultimate does to a lot of units, a lot of these top 10 units, it does a lot, especially against Saiyan. So definitely worthy of being in the honorable mentions in my opinion. Now this one, honestly, I think it's mainly because of the second part of the anniversary. Revival Gohan has resurged, definitely like close to being top 10. I don't think he's as close as these three, but he is definitely close to being there. I definitely think he's like a top 15 unit at the moment, because him and Tapion are superb together. Like, of course, the revival is his biggest asset, makes it so that his opponents just can't rush. The control of rush with revival units is insane. It's only against like units like Super Saiyan 4 Godzilla or Sao, or any unit that has it so that when taking out revival units, it's very beneficial for them. It's not too good to get rushed by this guy, but still, you have a unit that can survive a rush and get stronger because of it. He offers crazy good support post-transformation. Pre-transformation, his main ability heals, which is fantastic. His green card reduces his sub count after he switches out. His blue card hits hard and he makes it so that your teammates can come in faster. He also does great strike damage. Once he's transformed, his strike damage is even more powerful. His blue card is very powerful. His green card, the area attacking one, is a nuisance. The main ability making it so that you can get a super powerful blue card is ridiculous. Like, I definitely think with movies being in the position it is now, he is definitely up there with one of the better units. Okay, and for my final honorable mention, I'm gonna say Super Saiyan 4 Godzilla. Now, Super Saiyan 4 Godzilla was one of my, probably the 11th top, best unit out of all of these. I think he still is very, very good. It's just that I feel like Fusion Warriors isn't really in the greatest position at the moment, because if you think about it, they have two blues to choose from. Gogeta is definitely up there, and then I feel like Super Vegeta isn't as good anymore. And other than that, those four units are kind of the team, and you'd want to fill the bench with units that power them up, because they're basically the four you want to use. You could maybe use Marju for some support here and there, but it's not in a good position. But Super Saiyan 4 Godzilla is still very powerful to this day. Like, you can base him on a Saiyan team and he will do pretty well. Like, he just does a lot of damage. He's a threat to most of these revival. Like, this Revival Freezer hates going up against this Super Saiyan 4 Godzilla because he just counters him ridiculously. He maybe free card, as if those free cards are strikes, it's taking him out like in most situations, which is very good, because then he gets it so that he gets it with the unique equipment, just the 4 Dragon Balls in general, and he gets 50% more damage if he had that last slot as a red. A very good unit. He can get card draw speed with his main ability. His ultimate hits hard. His green card is still very ridiculous if you pull it off, and he is overall a very good unit. Okay, now we're on to my top 5. First, in the 5th position, I'm going to put this Zenkai Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. This dude is ridiculous. His strike damage is off the charts. His ability to have his sub count reduced every time your teammates are getting like hurt is very, very good, because think about how many times your opponents are going to be attacking you while this guy is on the bench in your battle members slot, where you want to swap out with him. Like, let's say they swap into a red unit against your yellow unit. They're hammering into him. You want to come into someone else as fast as possible, and he's the unit that will come in, and he tanks fairly well as well, so he is very good. His main ability, ridiculous. He gets 2 times card draw speed, and his ultimate, probably top 4 most ridiculous ultimates in the game. Like, it hits hard, it locks in opponents. I think that's the biggest threat against this dude. After 25 timer counts, if this dude has his main ability available, or you're trying to have it so that he's facing against a purple unit, so that he doesn't just lock in your opponent and just take him out, because the ultimate will deal 1.5 million type neutral. So if your team is like below 1.5 million in general and he hasn't popped his main, you are in trouble, and you want to, it makes your opponents try and play around this dude, which is very good for you, because then you can take advantage of that and just absolutely tear into them. So definitely a top 5 unit for me. Now the top 4, this one, I've got to say, it was kind of a struggle. I know who the number 1 spot is, but the second, third, and fourth, all of these could have been in different positions in my opinion. But these are definitely the top 4 units at the moment. My 4th place, I'm going to say, is Super Saiyan 3 Dragon Fist Goku. My days, is this guy fantastic. I absolutely love using this dude. I'm using him a ton at the moment. Like, his overall ability to get type, why do I always say type, nullification of cover change is ridiculous. Like, I believe he gets it 3 times upon entering, so that it makes it so that he can just hammer away at his opponents, which is great, because you want to fill up his gorge as fast as possible. It takes quite a long time to fill up his gorge, which I think is the only downfall for this guy. I think it's 12 cards he needs to get. I might be mistaken with that. I haven't really catched it out, but it is a lot of cards it takes to get this guy's gorge filled up. Like, it's 2 combos at least, which is great because he has card draw speed just in general, so that he can get quite a lot of that gorge filled up straight away. And while he's filling up that gorge, the damage he's dealing is insane. Like, his strike damage goes hard. Even his blast damage is very good. The green card supplying an extra strike card, making it so that you do more damage, make it so that you get more key, is great. Movies is definitely in a fantastic position because of him. They needed a green unit very badly, and he just supplied it for them just heavily. It's ridiculous what this dude done. And then once his gorge is filled, the benefits of that gorge being filled are stupendous. Probably the most powerful gorge that's filled that doesn't like reset over and over like the ultras does is probably definitely true. Like, once it's filled, the lock-in with the blue card is ridiculous. The main ability giving his restoration of vanish back, taking your enemies vanish, and then the ultimate just being so powerful, it is definitely a big thing for him, and it just makes him definitely a top 4 unit in my opinion. Now the number 3 spot, a lot of people were actually speculating who's better out of MUI Goku or Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I feel like they both kind of are in similar situations. I just think MUI Goku is slightly better for what he offers. Like, his gorge obviously works different to most of the other gorges in this top 10 list. Like, he has it so that his gorge goes down over time and makes it so that if your enemies attack, let's say they do tap, tackle, a strike, or a blast, it will reduce it. Upon using a strike or a blast, he counters them and deals damage, which is insane. Makes it so that he can control your enemies well. And he's on very good teams. Like, he's probably on the best team in the game at the moment, red, purple, with the androids and Whis. Like, definitely a ridiculous combo right there. Like, this dude does a lot of damage just in general. He can do a lot of strike, he can do a lot of blue card. Like, his blue card does a lot to blue units, which is scary to think about. His green card obviously ridiculous, filling in some of his goals, giving him an extra strike. He's got cardio speed. His main ability makes it so that he goes nullification of cover change. He gets more key. He gets the most. Is it the most powerful ultimate? I think it's second after Dragon Fist LF. I think Dragon Fist LF is definitely well, his ultimate is definitely the strongest in the game at the moment. I think this dude is just after his because it is very, very damaging. So definitely worthy of being top 3 in my position. Now the top 2, these two I actually think are very close to each other. The number 2 spot I give to Ultra Super Godzilla. This dude tears it up, and the main reason why I think he could have maybe been in the number 1 position is because of his ability when you have a battle member being defeated. Like, he goes type neutral. He makes it so that there's no unit that can withstand the wrath he will deal to you. He locks in your enemies as well so that they have no escape. His strike damage is crazy good. His blast damage is still good as well, considering it's a strike based unit. His blue card is just so annoying when it's landed on you. Like, it reduces your hand to 0 and you take a ton of damage for it, and then his gorge, once it's filled up, gives him a blue card, gives him more keys so that he can use that blue card and he can get that off over and over. Ridiculous. His green card, if you are in a combo by this guy and he's popped the green, you are in for a world of trouble, because he will most likely combo for about 10 years and you will lose like half your team's health depending on how you play with the Ultra Godzilla once he's got his green card off. That's how powerful he is with the green card. So definitely a very powerful unit. And then his ultimate, he gets it twice. If he's last man standing, he gets it, and upon main ability, he gets it. Absolutely ridiculous, and that's why he's very close to being my number 1. But my number 1 are the androids. Just, I don't really need to say much about these two. Damage through the roof, the tag ability insane. Both of them have very powerful assets. I think Android 17 makes it so that upon hitting he restores health. Android 18 makes it so that upon hitting she restores vanish. The blue cards for both of them are ridiculous. The green card from Android 17, if you get it off, GG to you, you won. If you get the green card off with Android 18, you've reduced your enemies vanish to 0 for the first time only, and you can just get a free combo in. And the green cards both make it so that they can go into nullification of cover chain, which is stupid. Just having the ability to get cover chain nullified is ridiculous. Like, it just goes to show. Honestly, I couldn't even put these guys at the number 0 spot, like undisputed number 1. Like, it's ridiculous what they're capable of. And then put all of that they're able to do, they nullify endurance, which just made it so that for the next year or so I can't see them being topped unless, like, how do you top the droids? Do you just do something similar to them for another tag unit, but make it so that that tag unit does 100,000 more damage for everything and has even more cardio speed or something like that? I don't know. It's just, these two are just too good. So this is my top 10 and my honorable mentions. Let me know in the comment section below if you agree or disagree with my top 10 or honorable mentions, whether you'll swap out a certain unit out of my top 10 for the honorable mentions. If you include a different unit entirely, that's very plausible. I could see you doing it. Like, let's take a look at the blue boys. Could have been there. I feel like the blue boys, in my opinion, are, this Gohan could have been, like, there's a few units that maybe could have made it, but that's all up to you. This is my list, and other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. I will see more in the future. Subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.